Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and of course the Blaziken raid just ended. Kick Chicken is gone, at least for those of you that are online. Now we'll cover that here in a moment, but the main thing you're going to want to know is that the new raid incoming next week, or I guess later on this week technically, is going to be a 5-star raid this time. You're going to have Iron Jugulis and you're going to have Flutter main. For people that are still looking to complete a dex, this isn't a bad deal. But here's kind of the problem. There's not like any special marks. Usually these are shiny locked. Although the raids are, obviously the mon themselves are not. But there's not a huge reason to go into these raids unless you're really looking to collect these mon and don't have them for whatever reason. It'd be really nice if those 5-star raids had like higher shiny rates or something like that, or like with Walking Wake we got, you know, a mon that you wouldn't get otherwise. You know, something like that would be really nice. Just getting these Paradox mon is kind of okay, but it's not the greatest thing, you know, like this could be a lot better. They could really sweeten this deal somehow. But nevertheless, it feels like they do a 5-star raid. Now if you really look at the calendar, what that does is that opens us up for 2 weeks of 7-star raids, and then probably a Valentine's event or something like that. So that is what I'm presuming is actually coming next for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So probably next week we'll have our next 7-star raid. There's lots of opportunities there for more really awesome 7-star raids. And the nice part is, like I kind of alluded to at the beginning of this, if your Switch does not go online, if you remain offline, you can continue to farm those Blaziken raids. You can capture the Kick Chicken if you haven't already, anything like that. You can still use that to acquire the rewards from that event. And the best part is, if your system is offline, you can just change the date over and over and over and over and over again and continuously farm that thing until this drops or until the next good 7-star raid drops, really for what it matters. So Blaziken's gone, but definitely not forgotten. So that is one way you can continue to farm really awesome rewards. Now, of course, obviously when this comes around, we will talk about it. It is farmable, but there's not really a huge amount you need to know here, because any good level 100, so long as, you know, it's not going to eat super effective attacks, any good level 100 should be able to handle this pretty effectively. So, but we'll come back. We'll talk about that a little bit, obviously, here towards the end of the week. But not being a 7-star, you know, kind of not as hyped. Really not as hyped. Now, the good news is some of you guys have asked me if I'm going to cover Pal World, and enough of you guys have asked. I think we're going to start with more Pal. We're going to, that new game, this kind of Pokemon-esque, I guess you could say. Honorific, I guess you could say. No, that might be a bit of a stretch too. We'll cover some of that coming up here shortly. So if you're looking for content on that, definitely stay tuned. That'll be fun. Game just dropped, so we're gonna try that and see how that plays out. So even though this might not be hype, maybe hype for that. So stay tuned. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and apparently Pal World coming up here really soon.